right, so today, before we dive into the topic, today's live topic is own your career and taking back control and what that means and everything around that. But before we dive into that, I have an awesome announcement, a big announcement for those who've been following me for some time or have been watching my posts, reading my posts this week. You will know that I have something really exciting coming up on Sunday. And for those who don't know, I have something really exciting coming up on Sunday. So Sunday, I will be hosting a live master class. And it is Sunday at 2:30 Eastern, 2:30 p.m. Eastern, obviously. Like I always say, I'm here in Florida, sunny Florida. So Sunday, 2:30 p.m. Eastern, a master class, and we are going to be talking about the strategies on advancing your career. So whether you are in one of these three categories, so whether you are seeking a new opportunity, a new job, if you are in a position and you're looking to level up, and when I say level up, you're looking for promotions and raises, or if you are in your first 90 days of your new position, your new role, your new project, your new responsibilities, this masterclass is for you, because what I will be doing in this masterclass is a live masterclass. I am going to be giving you the strategies, the exact strategies that I teach and work with my clients on how to advance their career, regardless of which stage they're in their careers. So like the three that I just mentioned, if you're looking for a job, if you're looking to level up, or if you are in your first 90 days, the strategy, the principle, the methodology, the principle really is pretty much the same thing. What I will be doing is going through each and every step of those principles, and it's three key things. But the three things that I want to convey today about the masterclass on Sunday, and I have to look at my notes. The masterclass on Sunday, specifically, I will be teaching you and showing you how to establish yourself as a sought after creator of excellence. So if you watched one of the first, I think the first live that I did, we talked about being a creator of excellence, not just being a job seeker, not just being an employee, but being a creator of excellence, i.e., someone who provides solutions, being that solutions provider. Don't have to be in tech to be an architect, right? You can be a solutions architect. So how to establish yourself as that and be sought after. That's number one. Number two, very key and very important, what people tend to forget to build, their influence and impact. How to do that and how to do it effectively, meaning successfully, how to successfully build your influence and impact. So we will be talking about that. And then third, not last but not least, how to get a higher salary. How do you advance so that you can get a higher salary, and how to get a higher salary. So Sunday's live masterclass, I will be talking about those three key things and the strategies along with that, step-by-step strategies. In addition to that, I will be taking or having a Q&A. So you can ask me any of the questions that you have regarding your career. We will definitely have the dialogue. We'll save time for a Q&A, so you're not going to want to miss that. So if you are looking to advance your career, learn how to do those three strategic things, how to advance your career specifically in those areas, and you want to talk to me live and get your questions answered live, please join and sign up for the masterclass on Sunday. So I will be putting a link somewhere around this video in the description of this video, but just to let you know what the link is, it will be JackieMitchellCC.com/masterclass, all one word, masterclass. So it's www.JackieMitchellCC.com JackieMitchellCC.com/masterclass. You don't have to remember it. I will put it in the details in the descriptions on this video. You will see posts on this today and tomorrow. It is not too late to sign up, but you definitely do not want to miss the live masterclass because I'm going to have some really, really good information in there. If you guys find value in these lives that I've been doing, this just touches this. It's just the surface. In the masterclass, I'm doing it on Sunday at 2:30. When you sign up, you'll get the link to join the masterclass on Sunday at 2:30. So it is not too late to sign up. The link will be in the video in the description. So it won't be too late to sign up. So I just wanted to put that out there. June 6th, masterclass with me, live masterclass. Link will be in there, and it is the strategies on advancing your career. I'm going to go through step by step. So if you are struggling, trying to find a job, struggling, trying to figure out how the hell do I get to the next level? What am I doing wrong? If you are Googling all the things and trying to figure out what works, what will work for you, stop. Do not Google anymore. Do not take any more advice on this, that, doing all the traditional things. My background is very untraditional, unconventional, not in HR, anything like that. Executive project management, program manager, worked side by side with C-level executives. I know and have been a hiring manager and have put together teams. So I come from that standpoint. As you all may very well know, project management skill sets are transferable. So I will be teaching you how to intertwine and weave those things in with a strategy so that you can advance your career. So if you're struggling in your career, you're unsatisfied, unhappy, overworked, underpaid, if all of those things sound like you, or if you're, kind of settling and you're not really sure if you should move or not move, you want to join this masterclass on Sunday, 2:30. It is not too late. I will be putting the link in the description. So let's jump into today's topic, owning your career. This is an interesting topic for me. I talk about this a lot. And so I wanted to come in and talk about some of the behaviors that we have that sabotage us, and we don't realize it's sabotaging us and our careers. Hey guys, how it's sabotaging us and in our careers and keeping us stuck. One of the main things that I hear from people often is that I feel stuck. I feel stuck. I feel stuck. I feel like I'm spinning my wheels, or I'm not getting anywhere. I'm not getting any calls back. I'm out of a job. What do I do? I'm trying to get back into the workforce. How do I do this? A lot of that comes from not having a strategy. A lot of that comes from not having a plan and really not owning your responsibility in where you are. You really have to own that responsibility. And so with everything that I stand behind and teach is taking responsibility for where you are at any point in your career. And I do know that there are many variables, many things coming at us. But one of the key things that you have to remember, you cannot change people. You cannot change other people. You cannot change your boss. You cannot change your manager. You cannot change your teammates, your team members. You can't change people. So what you need to do is turn it around and look at yourself. What are you doing? What are you capable of doing? What should you be doing, and how to go about it, right? So let's take a couple of steps back, because I want to specify specifically the things, and I have my notes, the things that we do unintentionally, because we're not intentional half the time when we're doing these things. Unintentionally, these behaviors that we have that sabotage us. And I've seen this. I've done it personally without knowing until it was brought to my attention, until I realized what it was. But here are the things, and I'm going to list what these things are, right? And then we're going to talk about how not to do them and what you should be doing so that you can take responsibility and get your power back. because most times, like I said, women will come to me and say they're stuck. That's a feeling of powerlessness. How do I get that power back? How do I stand in front of this and get in front of this and really move forward so that I can have the career that I love, have a job that I love, and do what I love to do? How do I do that? It's not unattainable. It's not something that you're like, oh my goodness, I'm an introvert, or I'm not someone who likes to be on display. How do I do that? It's really simple and it's very subtle, but it's strategic. So, diving into the behaviors that we do that sabotage us unintentionally, unknowingly. The first one, I just kind of gave it away. The first one, not being intentional, just going with the flow, just taking things by default. And it's like, let me wait and see what happens. I just want to give you guys this really quick nugget. My background, mainly in the past 5-7 years, have been in mergers and acquisitions. And we all know what comes with mergers and acquisitions. So I help integrate people, processes, and technology. A lot of times there's redundancy in systems and in roles and positions. So what ends up happening? We integrate systems. Job functions are duplicated, right? What are they going to have to do? Decrease the workforce. They're going, some people will be shifted to other positions, or some people will be let go, whatever the case may be. I have seen so many times where folks will sit and wait to see what happens, when honestly, management already knows what is going to happen. They already know who's going to be let go. They already know what systems are going to be implemented. They already know all of this stuff while you're sitting as a sitting duck. So now I'm not saying jump ship when you hear, oh, there's a merger and acquisition. I'm just giving you an example of what I have seen firsthand, And the best advice that I can give is to own where you are. And you're going to hear me say that a lot in today's talk. Own where you are. And you have to be intentional. Don't sit and wait. Do what's best for you and prepare. Always be ready. And I think I talked about this last week. Staying ready so you don't have to get ready. I have seen where people literally are waiting to see what happens. And it's almost like you're playing Russian roulette with your career. Can you afford to do that? A lot of people can't afford to do that, regardless. I don't think you should, So it's really in your best interest to just be prepared for whatever happens. And I'm just giving you an example when in the situation when there's a merger and acquisition, and some people are great with it. They're they fly, they soar, they thrive, and they continue on with that organization. But a lot of times you don't know where you're going to stand, you don't know where you're going to land, so you always want to be prepared. And so that's what I mean by being intentional, knowing what you want, where you want to go, how are you going to get there, but just knowing the boundaries of that. I'm kind of going through some of the things and just saying that, but just being intentional about, yes, how can I podcast? Absolutely. It shows confidence, being intentional. Absolutely. Being intentional means I know I'm going to do these things. I'm going to be here. I am going to go in this direction rather than being led. Or rather than waiting to see what happens, or, well, my manager says this and I'm going to trust them. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't, but you just have certain things in your back pocket, because you honestly, you never know. So that is what I mean by being intentional and being prepared. The next thing, kind of already talked about it all in the beginning, not working towards your specific career goals and not having any goals. I cannot tell you how many women come to me and they think they have a goal, but they're not clear on it. They just know, I want to advance my career. Well, what does that mean? Or I want to get another job. What does that mean? You have to be specific, like down to the nitty gritty specific. If you're a manager, a goal would be, or could be, I want to now be a director. I want to get to the next level and get to director level, you know? Or if you are in one industry, I want to now move to this other industry. Oh no, what's happening? I want to now move to this other industry, right? So it's things like that. You have to set clear, specific goals and work towards them on a regular basis. Talked about this already, not setting boundaries, saying yes and okay to things you really don't want. Again, being led by other people because other people may say, oh, I think you'll be great for this. Hey guys, I think you'd be great for this. I'm getting nervous. I just have to say, I almost feel like putting this on pause for a second because my battery is dying and I've never been in this situation. I don't know what happened. So I think I have enough to go for another 20 minutes. So let me be mindful of that. So Instagram, hopefully we don't get cut off. I'm hoping fingers crossed that we don't get cut off, right? So not setting boundaries, and it kind of goes into not knowing what you want, because if you don't know what you want, you can be easily led to certain things. Case in point, had someone come to me and say, my manager thinks that I would be good for a specific role, but I don't really know if I want that role, and I don't know if I can tell them no. Well, it's like time out. What do you want? What do you want? Kind of goes back to that. You have to set clear, get clarity around what you want, because if you don't, you're just going to be floating. You're just going to be floating, and you're not going to get anywhere. You will be spinning your wheels. You will not believe how many people are spinning their wheels thinking that their issue is one thing when the real issue is they have no clue on what it is that they really want to do. So you have to be mindful of what you want. And so when I'm saying setting boundaries, saying yes and okay to things that you're not really sure of, that's not good in any situation. So you want to set boundaries around what are the things that you want to do and not want to do, right? Being a people pleaser sabotages you. How does that sabotage you? Because you will go above and beyond and do things that are really not within your goals. A lot of what I talk about, you should be doing things that get you towards your goals, get you closer to achieving your goals, not just for the sake of doing, you're just going to do because my manager asked me to do it, or their manager asked me to do it, or a team member needs help with this or whatever, or someone needs to get certain things off their desk and they're throwing it to me. You want to be strategic with that. You don't want to be a people pleaser, because then you become known as the people pleaser. I have a client, and if I'm on speaker, you guys may want to put in some headphones because I've been known to say a few words. But I have a client, and verbatim, her words to me when we first started in our first meeting, she said to me, you guys ready for this? She said, in my last position, I felt like the company bitch. I said, whoa. That's a lot. Where does that come from? And she began to explain to me why she felt that way. The reason she felt that way was because she was a people pleaser. She did everything for everyone, and they went to her for everything. A lot of it wasn't even in her responsibility to do. Was not within her responsibility to do. Not saying to say, no, that's not my department, I'm not going to do it. But you want to be mindful of that. You want to be mindful of what you take on and what you don't. That's around boundaries as well. So being the company B, do you really want to be in that position? Absolutely not. You sabotage yourself that way because people will see you in one specific light in that specific organization and not think that you have the skill set and experience to move on to bigger and better things. They will just kind of pigeonhole you into something. Unless you are strategic with it, it's kind of going into what to do, but if you're strategic with it and being the person that is the go-to person that knows, they have solutions for things, that's a different story, a different situation than being a people pleaser. So that's something that will sabotage your career. Imposter syndrome, and I have that listed last, but that's kind of part of what we're talking about here. overdoing it at work and doing it too much and letting imposter syndrome get the best of you. When you let imposter syndrome get the best of you, you start to feel that you have to do more than enough. You know, you have to do more and continue to doing more, i.e., people pleasing, you know, i.e., not being intentional, i.e., not working towards your goals and being led all over the place. I will tell you that imposter syndrome shows up and manifests itself in so many different ways. A lot of times we're not aware of that. We will think imposter syndrome is just, oh my gosh, they're going to find me out. It can be me overdoing it. It can be me working additional hours because I just got to get this done. I just got to get this done. I got to show them. I have to prove my worth, you know, things like that. That will sabotage you. Doesn't help you to move forward. That will definitely sabotage you. And lastly, on sabotaging behaviors, not negotiating on your own behalf. I think that is kind of self-explanatory. Not negotiating on your own behalf, meaning, you know, everything is a negotiation. You're asked to do something. If you don't have the bandwidth to do it, how can you negotiate other things other than saying no? You know, there's other ways to say no. How can you negotiate a salary? How can you negotiate benefits or just, you know, compensation or anything? Anything is negotiable, you know. And so we sabotage ourselves by just taking what is offered first. That's huge, right? And that's one of the things, some of the things that I talk about and will be diving much deeper in on Sunday in my masterclass on Sunday at 2:30. We're going to talk about advancing your career, talk about what we do unintentionally that sabotages our career, and how do we show up boldly and confidently so that we can ascend to those heights that we want to go and get to where we want to go. So like I said, I will definitely put the link in the videos, below the videos, so that you guys can sign up. It is not too late to join Sunday's masterclass, and it is a live masterclass on Sunday. So here are 4 things that I'm going to give you to help combat combat what we just talked about and help you own your career and take back your control. So number 1, we just talked about this, setting clear and precise goals that excite you. What I call, and my clients will tell you, what I call the hell yeah goals and the stretch goals. You want to set goals that excite you, goals that will have you, you know what, I'm excited to do this thing. I'm really interested in this thing. You're not lazy about it. You're not, you know, again, you know, another day of this. It's just things that will excite you and help you get to where you want to go in the realm of helping the organization as well. And that's something that I teach and talk about. Number 2, setting boundaries. Many times when I talk to women, and for those who are meeting me for the first time, I know we're like half an hour in. I am Jackie Mitchell from Jackie Mitchell Career Consulting, and I help early to mid-career professional women advance in their careers, right? So what did I just say? Setting boundaries. Did I just say set boundaries or managing up? Oh, setting boundaries. So setting boundaries, we have to know our boundaries first. A lot of times we don't know our boundaries. We don't know what our boundaries are. That's what leads to imposter syndrome. That's what leads to, you know, a lot of us are working remotely. That's what leads to working till 8 o'clock at night, getting up at 7 or 6 o'clock in the morning and answering emails and getting on Zoom meetings after hours. We don't have boundaries. Set clear boundaries. We need to know our boundaries first, set the boundaries, and communicate those boundaries. You can set boundaries all you want to and all you want in your head, and people will cross those boundaries consistently. Keep crossing those boundaries. Keep crossing those boundaries. Why? Because we've not communicated those boundaries effectively to them. So you want to, 1, know your boundaries, set your boundaries, communicate your boundaries, and also communicate the consequences of people crossing those boundaries. You have to be a very confident person in doing that. And I help people do that all the time. Not just in professional, but in personal. You got to know your boundaries. You got to, one, no, like I said, you have to know your boundaries, set your boundaries, communicate your boundaries. And in addition to communicating the boundaries, communicating the consequences, right? You want to communicate the consequences of those boundaries as well. Number three, on what to do instead of those sabotaging behaviors that I just talked about, you want to manage up. And I went in depth with how to manage up, meaning managing your manager. I think it actually is a JMCC live that says managing up. So managing your manager, you want to manage up. You want to expect the things that your manager is expecting of you. You want to set expectations. You want to work with them and not for them. So go back and check that live. I go deep in depth on how to manage up. The last thing, which should be self-explanatory and easy to remember, you want to remind yourself and others of your awesomeness. Obviously you have to be competent, but you want to be confident. You want to be top of mind. You want to make sure that your manager, and it's part of managing up as well, you want to make sure that your manager knows the accomplishments that you've made along the way when you've set those goals. Talked about performance reviews in one of the last lives. You want to make sure that the goals that you set in those annual or performance reviews, that you are communicating those and your progress and your achievements to your manager, and you're staying top of mind. You want to make sure that you communicate, like I said, you want to communicate your awesomeness and remind yourself often of that, because sometimes we forget how great we are and how much we know and how much experience we have and the value that we bring to organizations. And when you remind yourself of that, you will less than likely take what's given if it's less than what you want, right? You'll know what you're worth, and you will work within that and work towards that and work up to it, right? You don't want to just take what's given. And so those are the ways that you take back your control. So just to list them really quickly: set clear and precise goals that excite you. Number two, set boundaries. Communicate those boundaries. You want to manage up. And number four, you want to remind others, especially your manager and yourself, of your greatness, of your awesomeness, of the things that you do. You are a high achiever. You're a top performer. Those are the things that you want to do instead of playing small. And when I say playing small, being unintentional, not setting boundaries, not just going with the default, being led. Those are some of the things. So that's how, at a high enough level, but deep enough level, that's how you own your career and take control. That's how you take control back. And one of the key things in doing that is developing a plan, developing a career plan and a career path. It is not difficult. It is really very simple. But what I've noticed is that people don't take the time to do that. We will plan for so many other things in our lives. We'll plan for having kids. We'll plan a wedding. And now I'm picking on women because I work with women mainly. We'll plan for all of those things. We'll throw a baby shower. We'll do all of this stuff, a housewarming and all of this stuff. But when it comes to our careers, we drop the ball so many times and wonder why we're not where we want to be, because we're not taking it seriously. Successful women take their careers seriously. They plan for it. They develop career plans, and it's not difficult. And let me show you the different things to do. And it kind of wraps up what we talked about. In developing your career plan, there's 7 steps. You want to get real with yourself and identify where you specifically are in your career. Number 2, you want to visualize and write in detail. You can't half-ass it. You want to write in detail what your future job opportunity or new role looks like, right? You want to determine, number 3, if the organization you're in supports your vision. You have to have a vision. Every successful organization, every successful person has a vision. You want to have a vision. Determine if the organization that you're working with, if that supports your vision. Number 4, you want to make a choice and a decision for intentional action. So let's say they don't support your vision. What are you going to do about it? You have to have a plan on what you're going to do about it. Number 5, you want to build your toolbox to begin working on your ideal career opportunity. Regardless if you're happy where you are, you still want to build that toolbox on what is to come, meaning your resume, your profiles, your skill sets specifically, the experience specifically. You want to build all of that. Number 6, one of the most important things that we don't do and we should be doing: enlist qualified mentors and coaches, qualified people, expert people within the industry, within your professional industry, to help you on your journey. You will have loved ones and people that you trust to help, may help guide you in certain areas. However, they can't necessarily help to get you where you want to go. So you want to enlist professional coaches and mentors, whether it's a career coach, whether it's a financial coach, whatever that is for your journey. You want to enlist people who know how to help get you there and support you in getting there. You want to enlist them. And then finally, last but not least, you have all of this together. You've created a plan. You want to work that plan. It is not just to put it on paper and say, okay, I have a plan and here's my plan. It's now let me work the plan. You have to put in the work. So it's not a situation where it's just all done for me and I sit back and everyone will give me what I want. No, you have to now put in the work and you have to work that plan. So with all of that, that is how you take back control, because what that does for you is to give you back that power. You're not powerless in your career. I help you. I hope I'm helping you realize and understand that you're not powerless in your career. You have the control. You have to first identify what's within your sphere, what I call the sphere of influence, and what you have control over. And the things that you have control over, those are the things that you need to help move forward, and enlist people to help you move forward, enlist people to help you get to where you want to go. You can't do it by yourself. You won't be able to do it all by yourself. You have to ask for help, but you have to be strategic. You have to have a plan. You have to work that plan. So that, in a nutshell, my friends, is how you own your career. And so I want to see you guys sign up for the masterclass on Sunday. The link will be in the video. Thank you guys for joining today. Have an awesome rest of your day. Thank you, everyone.